Hey, what is up, everybody? I am here to give you my WWE Monday Night Raw review for October 27th, 2014. Um, we get JBL, Michael Cole, and Jerry the Kid Lawler on commentary, and the authorities in the ring. It's only Triple H, Seth Rollins, and Corporate Kane, and they kind of talk about how great Hell in a Cell was last night, pretty much. And then Seth Rollins comes out and he gloats about his victory for Randy Orton. No, he gloats about his victory over Dean Ambrose last night, and he says he has him out of his life forever. Um, and then what happens is Dean Ambrose, no, Seth Rollins talks shit about Randy Orton, how he lost to John Cena. So then Randy Orton comes out and he's like, we just started the show and you guys were already talking about how I lost to John Cena last night. And he says, last week you curb stomped me, so um, I told you guys to deal with it, and if you didn't deal with it, I would. So he goes off on Seth Rollins and Jamie Noble, Joey Mercury, Corporate Kane, and um, Jamie No and Triple H are all pulling him off, and Triple H is like, tonight's not the night to be doing this. Um, and I'm just turning my Wi-Fi off. And tonight's not the night to be doing this. Um, we have other stuff to do. Don't do this. And he tells him Randy Orton to go to his bus and take the night off. Um, and Randy Orton just shoves Triple H and hits an RKO and Seth Rollins and takes off. And I thought that was awesome. Um, and it was good stuff. And Randy Orton, I think, is now a fully babyface, and I'm happy about that. And it's good stuff. Um, I'm happy to see him babyface. He was kind of getting stale as a heel, and now hopefully this babyface route can work. And I'm happy about it. Let's see what happens with this. And we get the first match. It's Gold and Stardust defending the WWE Tag Team Championships against Big Show and Mark Henry. Big Show and Mark Henry are having some miscommunication in the match. Big Show tags Mark Henry hard, and Mark Henry gets pissed about it. And then when Mark Henry is being dominated by Golden Stardust, and Goldust hits the dropkick on him, Big Show tags himself back in, and Big Show, Mark Henry gets pissed about that. So then Big Show starts going off on Stardust, and Goldust tries to come in and he throws him out, and Mark Henry gets pissed about that because he's like, I got this. I wanted to take him out. He was just pissed. I guess he didn't get to contribute. And Big Show hits the knockout punch on Stardust, and he's about to pin him for the win, but then Mark Henry hits a World's Strongest Slam on him and turns heel, which I thought was badass. And he puts Seth Rollins on Big Show, and the referee counts three. Golden Stardust retain the WWE Tag Team Championships. And afterwards, Mark Henry goes off on Big Show. He hits three World's Strongest Slams on him and a splash. And he gets back to the old heel Mark Henry with, that's what I do. And I'm glad Mark Henry's back to being a heel again, because I did not... He was okay as a babyface, but I think he's much better as a heel. I think when he's a face, it just doesn't work. I mean, look at 2010. He was a face, and they did nothing with him. So I think I'm glad he's back to being a heel. And we get to see now a Big Show Mark Henry feud, and I get to see what happens with that. And we get to see a Randy Orton now Seth Rollins feud. I can't wait to see that feud with Orton and Rollins, and it's gonna be good. So then the next thing that happens, AJ Lee has a match with Alicia Fox with Paige on commentary. The match was pretty good. AJ Lee did an awesome DDT. Eventually, Alicia Fox picks Paige picks the leg of Alicia Fox, and AJ Lee rolls her up for the win, I think. And yeah, she rolled her up for the win, and she kicks off, and Paige and Alicia Fox go at it, and Alicia Fox goes to give Paige a friendship bracelet, and Alicia Fox goes to take it, and Paige kicks her big boots her right in the face, and goes off on Alicia Fox, throws her into the barricade, and now she's like, I don't need any friends. So now I guess she doesn't need friends, so that means I guess she doesn't have any friends anymore, which I think is good. I wonder if they're gonna start feuding now, or if they're gonna continue the Paige AJ Lee feud. I'd be fine with either though. And then I'm on the one notes. Next match that had Mark Henry too had gotten interviewed. He talked about how Big Show was jealous of him. He was gonna do that for him, and he talked about how Big Show's the world's largest athlete, and I'm the world's strongest man, and Big Show's wanted to do this for a long time. And John Cena comes out to cut a promo, and since they were in Texas, they talk about the Spurs and how their NBA. I mean, whatever their Super Bowl is, when they how they have the titles now, how they're good sports champs. Let's get to cheap pop. And he talks about how he's going to take out Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins, because in the main event it was going to be Seth Rollins versus John Cena. And Stephanie McMahon comes out, and I kind of was hoping Brock Lesnar was going to come out, which I have a feeling since Brock Lesnar wasn't on the show that that Brock Lesnar will not be on Survivor Series, but it still could change. And she pretty much tries to get John Cena to turn heel, and it doesn't work. It's kind of like the same stuff they always try to do. John Cena refuses, so Triple H comes out and says, "If you won't do it, we're gonna do it our way." And he makes a match at Survivor Series. It's Team Cena versus Team Authority. I totally saw this coming because they were even talking about how Cena could be like the captain of the Authority, so you could totally see this coming. And they're like hyping it up like no one would want to join John Cena's team because they wouldn't want to be a face Authority. And I actually think this Team Cena versus Team Authority match shouldn't be too bad. As for I see Jordan, I see the Authority side being Triple H, Seth Rollins, Corporate Kane, Mark Henry, and Bray Wyatt. I think that would be I think that's what's going to happen. And then the Cena team is going to consist of John Cena. We already know Dolph Ziggler is going to be on it because he was talking with Dolph Ziggler backstage, and then Corporate Kane had come up to him and said that he wants to destroy, and he names traits about Dolph Ziggler, and he says he's going to destroy Dolph Ziggler, and that's what he does. But Dolph Ziggler's going to be on his team, obviously. It's not confirmed yet, but it's going to happen. Big Show will probably be on John Cena's team. I see Dean Ambrose joining because he's feuding with Bray Wyatt, and Randy Orton. I think I see him turning face and joining Cena's team, which would be awesome. And yeah, the next thing that happens is it was The Miz and Damian Mizdow versus Jimmy and Jay, the Usos. Good match. I was mainly paying attention to Damian Mizdow. He was doing all the moves that Miz does, but it was a pretty decent match. One of the Usos tries to get the win, but Damian Mizdow kicks him in the face, so he sells that, and the referee gets distracted by Damian Mizdow, and the Usos pull Twin Magic, and the other Uso pins Miz for the win, and Miz and Damian Mizdow are pissed about it, so I don't really know where this is going. I would like to see Damian Mizdow and the Miz become a tag team, because I think that would be awesome, but we'll see what happens. And that's the next match. Dolph Ziggler. Oh, I already talked about this. Hulk Hogan promo. He comes out and promotes breast cancer. I thought that was fine. It was cool to see Hulk Hogan again. Bo Dallas has an open challenge, so he calls them out and says, I bet you guys can believe you can beat me. And Ryback returns. Which my friend, I was talking on the phone with him, and my friend Steve Ezekiel, he doesn't care if I say his name, called that, which I thought was awesome. But Ryback returns. I thought that was awesome, and he beats Bo Dallas with the shell shock, and it was cool to see Ryback again. It was awesome. It was it would have been a nice surprise if he didn't call it, but it was a nice surprise. I didn't really see Ryback coming back for a while. And I hope really now that they re-push Ryback to who he was before, and it looks like they're going to. He's back to he's a face again. He's back to the feed me more thing. And I didn't really mind Ryback when he was like that. And I thought it was good. I think they're going to try to push Ryback again, which would be awesome. And they really screwed up on Ryback before when he went up when he was coming into the WWE in 2012, taking out everybody, all the jobbers, and then what happened was they threw him, I think, in the title spot too fast, and CM Punk ended up beating him, and then Ryback just started losing. He lost to CM Punk at Hell in a Cell in a Hell in a Cell match. He lost to CM Punk with John Cena in the Triple Threat match. He lost the match when it was him and Team Hell No, which is Kane and Daniel Bryan. And he lost to The Shield, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose. He lost the Royal Rumble match to John Cena. They were the last two, and he lost. And then him, Sheamus, and John Cena lost to The Shield at an Elimination Chamber. He lost to Mark Henry at WrestleMania. He lost at Extreme Rules and Payback to John Cena. He was able to get a win, though, on Chris Jericho at Money in the Bank, but that still didn't do anything for him. At Battleground, and then he went on to do his feud with CM Punk and became a Paul Heyman guy. That didn't work. He lost to CM Punk at Battleground and Hell in a Cell again. He lost to Mark Henry at Survivor Series. He lost a tag team match. It was Cody Rhodes and Goldust, Rey Mysterio and Big Show, and Cesaro. Well, he was Antonio Cesaro and Jack Swagger of the Real Americans at the time. And Cody Rhodes and Goldust ended up winning. They were the first out, too. He got rolled up by Goldust. He lost the Royal Rumble match again. He lost on the pre-show of Elimination Chamber to Cody Rhodes and Goldust. He lost on the kickoff of WrestleMania to the Usos, which consisted of Los Matadors, Diego and Fernando, and the Real Americans again. He didn't have a match at Extreme Rules. He finally was, and then he was just kind of done. He was just nothing. He went on to become a tag team with Curtis Axel, and it was called Ryback, so he was going nowhere. And he was getting some wins, but he was just on a big losing streak. He was lost, and I hope we push Ryback. I really hope so. I like to see. It would be kind of cool if he feuds with Rusev, which he wasn't even on the show tonight, but. That would be a good match, Rusev versus Ryback, and you build up Ryback as an unstoppable force. I would like to see now Ryback versus Rusev. I think we need to build him up a little bit more, and you can do it probably at the Royal Rumble. Do Ryback versus Rusev. I think that would be awesome. And then we get Cesaro versus Dean Ambrose. The match never happened. Dean Ambrose went up on the announcer's table and talked about how he went down to hell with Seth Rollins, and he took him down with him, and he beat the crap out of him. But then Seth Rollins was able to escape again by Bray Wyatt, and he says he doesn't care why Bray Wyatt attacked him, but he's going to get his hands on Bray Wyatt. And then he attacks Cesaro with the mic, which was awesome. He just goes off on Cesaro, so Cesaro walks off, and Dean Ambrose says that he wants Bray Wyatt to come out here now. He doesn't care about explanations. He just wants Bray Wyatt to come out here. And Bray Wyatt comes on the screen, and his little thing's different now. When it usually would show the GOAT mask when he was with Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, when it was the Wyatt family. But now that he's a singles guy, it shows different stuff. And he says that him and Ambrose are a lot alike, that they come from different paths. But don't consider me your friend. I want you to run. And he talks about how he sees him as his friend, and I think how he doesn't see him as a friend, but how he sees that they're a lot alike, and I think that was a good promo, and I can't wait to see these two feud. It's going to be awesome. That would be awesome if these two have a feud. It would be cool. And then we got Nikki Bella with Brie Bella versus Naomi. This is like Brie Bella's second day of being Nikki Bella's assistant. She was forced to help, and Brie Bella holds Naomi's leg, and then Nikki Bella does that forearm off the ropes and hits the torture rack backbreaker move for the win. It was fine. And then Nikki forces Brie to raise her hand, which I thought was fine. And then we got Corporate Kane versus Dolph Ziggler. I didn't really care about this match. It was just kind of but it wasn't that bad actually. When it was one good spot was when Ziggler went to do a splash in the corner and Kane caught him with an uppercut. That was awesome. But then Corporate Kane goes to chokeslam Ziggler, but then Ziggler counters into a sunset flip and gets the win, which I was surprised. I expected Corporate Kane to win. Then afterwards, Seth Rollins attacks Ziggler from behind, and Ziggler and Kane and Rollins put the boots to Ziggler, and then Cena runs out to make the save, and then we get the main event. It was John Cena versus Seth Rollins with Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury ringside. I thought this was a great main event, and it got a lot of time. It was like 10:40 when this match happened. It was like 10:35 actually. And John Cena starts beating the crap out of Seth Rollins. He suplexes him on the floor, and then eventually Seth Rollins hides behind Noble and Mercury, and Seth Rollins takes a cheap shot and throws Cena kidney first into the apron, and he just starts going off on John Cena. And throughout the times, Mercury and Noble would, behind the referee's back, would take out Cena, and Cena takes out Jamie Noble, throws him into the barricade, and Noble and Mercury got a Raw main event too. This is the first time they ever main evented Raw. And Seth Rollins throws Cena into the steps, which is he always takes that spot. And then Rollins starts dominating Cena. Cena tries to do his couple shoulder block, two shoulder blocks. He hits one, but it fails the other, and Rollins dives on him. And Seth Rollins throws Cena into the barricade. Does that knee off the top turnbuckle. He does, and Cena kicks out. And Jamie Noble, Cena's on the outside, and Jamie Noble takes another cheap shot at Cena, and you think Cena's going to get counted out, but Cena gets back in just in time, and then what happens is Cena does the 5 moves of doom to Seth Rollins, and he goes to hit the AA on him, but Seth Rollins counters, and I think he went to hit the STFU, and Seth Rollins countered that, and then Seth Rollins hit his other finisher in WWE 2K14, I don't remember what it's called, but he hits that move, and Cena kicks out of that. And then Cena tries to put Rollins in the STFU, but he gets the ropes. And then Cena tries to FU Rollins, but then he fails, and Seth Rollins throws Cena. And then what happens is Jamie Noble distracts Cena, and Seth Rollins takes him out and throws Rollins into Noble and Mercury, and puts Rollins back in. And Rollins hits an Enziguri on Cena, but he kicks out of that. And then Cena tried to hit an FU off the top rope to Rollins, but then Rollins hit a buckle bomb, which was good strength by Seth Rollins. I thought that was awesome. And Cena kicked out of that. Cena hit a crossbody and a tornado DDT, and Rollins kicked out of that. And then afterwards, Cena has Rollins in the STFU, and Corporate Kane comes out and attacks to get on Rollins. Cena put the boots to Rollins, and Kane puts the boots to Cena, and then Ziggler comes out to make the save, but then Noble and Mercury get involved and attack, and the numbers game catches up to Rollins and Cena, and then the entire locker room comes out except for Randy Orton, and it all go off on the Authority, and then eventually everybody fights each other. And Cena just hits AAs on Heath Slater and Bo Dallas, and stands tall. And everyone's still fighting as his music's playing. And Roman Reigns got interviewed, and he talked about the great match that he had with that Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins had, and that when he comes back, he's going to come after Seth Rollins. So I expect them to continue their feud when he comes back. And then something I noticed about that brawl too, when all the superstars came out, was Adam Rose fought with Zack Ryder. That made no sense, but whatever. And that's really it for Raw. Not really a long review, but it really wasn't. There was good stuff, but there's not like a lot of really furthering anything right now. I think usually after the Raw after the pay-per-view, they usually kind of cool down. It's like the aftermath of Hell in a Cell, but they did announce the match. It's going to be Team Cena versus Team Authority. Probably next week on Raw, we're going to find out who's going to be on. each other's team. It's pretty obvious Dolph Ziggler's going to be on Cena's team, and it's pretty obvious who's going to be on the Authority's team. Like the three guys, I think Triple H will be on it, Corporate Kane and Seth Rollins, and Cena and Ziggler are going to be together, which would be awesome. And I thought, well, as for Raw, I thought it was a pretty good show. I liked the tag team matches with Stardust and Goldust versus the Big Show and Mark Henry. I liked the Mark Henry heel turn, the Randy Orton face turn. I really did like this show, and I hope they continue this. And that's pretty much it, guys. I'll be back tomorrow to give you my first of many WWE 2K15 Let's Plays, because tomorrow it comes out for Xbox 360 and PlayStation 4, which they hyped up a lot tonight. They showed the advertisement a ton of times. But if you get it for the Xbox One and the PS4, PlayStation 4, you have to wait till November 18th, so you're going to get a lot of that tomorrow. And subscribe to this channel and stuff, and that's pretty much it, guys. See you later.